for someone that's gonna hold a king down. I've been looking for someone that's gonna hold a king crown. I've been looking for somebody that would make me feel complete. I've been looking all my life, I wonder where could she be. I've been looking for someone that's gonna hold a king down. I've been looking for someone that's gonna hold a king crown. I've been looking for somebody that would make me feel complete. I've been looking all my life, I wonder where could she be. It's alright, baby, it's okay. I'm gonna love you anyway. When the sun turns blue, when the sky turns gray, my love is gonna be here.
Welcome to the kingdom. This is King to Queen Talk, where we provide the black, grown, and unfiltered perspective on life, love, and everything in between. I'm Tony G.
I'm Juicy Lips Judy.
I'm TJ.
As you guys can see, we have a special guest with us on today, and we're going to let Miss Korinne introduce our special guest.
So today, guys, we have a special guest. We have the soon-to-be mayor of South Fulton, Wendy Williams. Also, my co-author in Black Girl Magic book. Also, my co-author in Gang Gang book. Also, my soul sister. You feel me? Wendy Williams.
Hey, y'all.
What an introduction that was.
I know. Hear ye.
I also forgot that she's also an influencer and an evangelist. I forgot that part.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, you went from gang to
Man.
evangelist. All right.
Well-rounded.
Well-rounded.
Mm-hmm.
They say Peter was a thug too, so you might not be too far off. It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
As you know, we touch on quite a few different topics. It gets a little crazy in here, but Korinne said that you were up for the challenge. You up for the challenge?
I'm up for it.
All right. So let's, as always, let me ask, how's everybody doing? How's everybody been within these last couple weeks since we all last spoke? How you been, Korinne?
I'm great. You know, I'm still getting head in the motherfucking bed, still throwing that ass in the motherfucking circle. And shout out to Quarantine Bakers. I still love him. He's still great.
Miss Wendy, how have you been doing? Considering we're still in the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
Black Lives Matter is still thriving and alive. How are you doing?
I mean, I've really been good. Like, I've been blessed, to be honest. I'm doing things that I didn't think I would be doing, but I'm all right, to be honest. I'm all right.
That's what's up. We'll take it. Alive and well. Brother TJ, how you doing, man?
I'm living, man. I'm good.
Living. That's you're just so detailed.
Hey.
We don't know what to do with all those details.
I broke a personal record today.
Oh,
Consecutive days alive.
Huh?
What?
okay. I got it.
What did he
Don't
say?
repeat
I didn't hear
that.
it.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
What did he say?
Don't
Because I missed it. What did you say?
I
Don't
said I
ask.
broke a personal record today.
Uh-huh.
Consecutive days alive.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to use that.
I like that. Mhm.
I told you not to let him repeat it. Oh boy.
That's going to be
All
my Facebook post tomorrow.
Right. Wow. All right. Well, I'm well, alive, and thriving as well. And so on that note, let's get into it. Of course, we have our question of the days. So let's start with a question that definitely got a lot of comments, got our comments on fire, we'll say. So the question of the day was, as a single person, what would you say is the number one reason that you're single? We had Miss Kelly.wa.21 say, inconsistency and lying, both words are in bold letters, big letters, are the number one reasons for me. Don't introduce me to a vibe that you cannot maintain. I get it. Everyone starts off in the beginning, putting their best foot forward, But why would you make a woman fall in love with you, then turn around and say, we're just friends? I'm not looking for anything serious. Laugh out loud. Like who wines and dines, spends time with your kids, spends alone time with you, having unprotected sex, then says, we're just friends. Phew. Child, the ghetto. So then we're going to read purple_princess214 says, girl, let me tell you, there are a lot of reasons why I'm single. But the number one reason I'm single is because dudes these days be for everybody. Miss Gina78 says, PTSD from past relationships, still working through the trauma. Another man shouldn't have to pay for the sins of prior relationships. In addition, I need to heal those wounds so I don't attract another person like the last. I thought that was pretty interesting. Some self-accountability going on.
Right.
So Korinne, what do you think about that? Are you still technically single? Like what is your status? Because you talk about quarantine, babe, like y'all about to march down the aisle any day now. So
Any day.
I don't know if this applies to you or not. Like what's your status? And then tell us what you think.
You know, right now I'm just enjoying the vibe. You know, we have a great, amazing friendship. And, you know, we have a great understanding. He treats me super well. He loves me correctly. He respects me. He gives me that great ding ding. Okay? The ding, the ding, 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 ding. And, you know,
So you entangled.
we're traveling, we're loving each other. It's great. You know, we're just chilling right now. We're just chilling.
So loving and chilling. All right.
So you single or you not? I don't understand.
Right. Because
the answer to the question.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm in an entanglement.
You entangled? Okay.
All right. We'll take that. As of recently, that is now acceptable in the definition of relationships.
Because you know, y'all did catch me on live, you know what I'm saying? On my little, you know what I'm saying?
You're right, we did. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on what these people said? Like, is there any truth in what they said, or should there be accountability on both ends?
I definitely think that, you know, women are emotional. I will say that. So a lot of times we have to take it for what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm in a relationship, because that's not, you know what I mean? We're not in a relationship. We have some form of a relationship because we have a friendship. There's different types of ships. But women sometimes think if you're sleeping with someone, if you're having unprotected sex, you're going out, you're doing this, you're doing that you're in a relationship. And you're not always in a relationship. If you haven't had that conversation, you're not in a relationship. However, I do think that it is wrong. If you guys are having unprotected sex, spending time with the family, you know, you're doing relationship, but then you say you don't want a relationship, that's pretty fucked up.
So it boils down to a conversation, is what you're saying.
I think so, yeah.
And because those conversations don't occur, some of these women may be single because there isn't a transparent conversation.
Exactly. And since we're emotional, we're in a relationship. I love you.
And that causes the friction and tension and eventually the split.
Exactly.
Okay. What do you think, Miss Wendy?
I think, honestly, like, you know if a man full of from the beginning. Throughout the relationship. And I think a lot of women, they just feel like if I continue on, then maybe things will be different. But you know deep down in your heart that man ain't serious about you. So you out here having unprotected sex with his man, risking your life. And all women have done it before. No one can say they have not. But you know that man's not for you, because if he was for you, you guys would have went ahead and when made it official.
Come on, boo.
And that's how I
Okay.
feel about that.
So I'm gonna switch it up to you, TJ. When it comes to the checklist that a lot of men and women have, do you think that checklist stops people, or at least hinders them from being in monogamous, purposeful relationships?
Yes, I do. I agree with that.
And so, what about that do you think causes them to be stuck in that place of being single or just not being able to connect with people?
It's like kind of like the 80-20 rule that people say. Sometimes you'll have, somebody that meets a lot of the things that you want, but don't meet certain things that are important to you. And then you'll have people who meet important things to you that the other person doesn't meet, but they don't do all the other shit that somebody else may do. And that may keep you single. And some people are like, I'm not getting in a relationship unless somebody meets 100% of what I want.
Right. So do you think that 100% exists? Or is it like you'll never achieve that?
I don't really think that exists. I think a lot of people believe that it does, and they see things the way they want to see them, not for actually what really is.
Right. So, ladies, what do y'all think? Is there a 100% person out there?
I feel like you have to be single until you're ready to. If you're okay with taking 60-40 or 70-30, if that's what you're okay with and you want to settle, then do that. You got to be comfortable with the decision that you're making. I personally was like, I will not, fuck with anybody until I feel like I'm gonna get as close to what I want as possible. And it just turned out that I already knew this man. You feel me? So it's possible.
So, Wendy, you had an opposite perspective. So
I don't have an opposite perspective on it. When you can definitely find somebody that checks off all your lists. Okay, but in the long run, I mean, in the long run when things are not 100%, because some things not gonna be 100% in the long run. In the beginning, everything is blissful, 100%.
Right.
But in the long run, everything is not gonna be 100%.
And that's pretty much the perspective that I have. I know people always say it should be 50-50 in a relationship, because you're bringing yourself, I'm bringing myself, and we got to do half and half. And it's like you said, you're going to go through some storms, and someday somebody is going to give you 20%, and you have to give the other 80, in order to have a successful relationship, because we're all human. So I may be down, you know what I'm saying? I may lose a job. I may, whatever that, I may get sick.
If you're starting off with 50%, you're going down real quick.
Yeah.
If you're starting off with, 40 and 60, you're going down. So at least if you start with 100, you might go to 80. You might go to 75, and you still good. You know what I mean?
I mean, everybody thinks that the person that they talking to when they first meet them is 100%. Like everybody believes that.
This ain't a first meeting. I've known
I ain't talking about you.
No, he's talking in general.
Okay.
She got defensive. She was about to take up for quarantine.
She about to fight us with that dick.
We already know you threw him to the curb and went back and hit the U-turn and picked him back up. We good.
We ain't talking about him, girl.
In general, when people start out, everything is always peaches and cream, and great. But like, I don't know, a lot of times you get to that first argument or second argument.
Right. That's what I was gonna say.
It get wild after that.
And they can't take it because the expectation was it's always gonna be 100%.
Right.
And that's why they end up separating because they don't realize it's just not. That's not how life works. Even on your most perfect job, it's still not going to be 100% every day. You know, so that's just life. But good perspective. So let's move on to the next question of the day. What does black girl magic mean to you? And so people are still commenting just a few minutes ago. All right, so let's see what we got. Drea043 says, our light, exuberance, defiance, glow, empowering, smart, beautiful, unjust, and just enough. True definition of OG queens. Brianna.Williams says, black girl magic means so much to me. It's the resilience we hold, how we overcome obstacles and shine despite of our circumstances, etc. It's the love for self and how we display it, variety and creativity in our hair and dress. Black Girl Magic is a celebration of black girls and how we rock and choose to show up. Wit Wants To says, embracing yourself, your beauty, your essence, being so in tune with yourself that no one can tell you who you are, what you should be, and how to be. Oh, and how to be it. Shining so bright and knowing no one can dim your light. That was pretty good. So to the queens in the building, Miss Wendy, what is black girl magic to you? How do you define that?
I mean, it's everything. Like, the thing about black women, we just come in all shapes, colors, and we just dope. You know what I mean? And we're unfuckable, we're untouchable, and people out here, they mimic us. You know what I mean? I just think that we just exude dopeness.
I think that black girl magic means, just doing whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, without judgment, and not really giving up what people think, practicing how you want to practice your religion, however that is, whatever that is, wearing your hair however you want to wear it, not giving up how people, think you look. Basically, I think it's about exuding confidence in a way that, people just can't.
Strength, just everything about a black woman, I can definitely appreciate. And I think that magic was put in all black women. But it's up to y'all in order to discover that and to use it for good, because everybody doesn't use it for good. We're on the topic of talking about strong black women. So I want to dive deeper into this conversation. And we talked about in the question of the day about an alpha female. And not every black woman is an alpha female. So let me put that disclaimer out there. However, we do have a lot of women who identify as alpha females. And most would identify that as a leader, someone who stands out from the rest, a person that is able to direct and give guidance, right? So my question to you guys is, number one, do you think it is necessary in today's society for a black woman to exude an alpha-like mentality? Do you think that's necessary in today's society, given the space that we're in, whether it's a lot of black women raising their kids as a single parent, whether it be in the workplace where we know that women in general don't get paid as much as men, but women of color get paid even less than that. So just given those type of examples, do you think it's necessary, or do you think that a person who is less dominant and who likes to be in the background, do you think that can be effective as well?
I will say that I am an alpha female. I feel like I have to be strong because, you know, I'm already Black, I'm already a woman, so I feel like sometimes people perceive that as, you know, you don't know as much. You can try to get things over on me. Just like, for instance, if you go to get your car worked on, right? And you're a woman and you go to a mechanic and he says, hey, you know what? You need a whole new engine and all you need is brakes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People feel like they can get over on you. And the thing about it is, I've had that done to me, but I grew up, my dad is a mechanic, so I know a little bit about cars. So it's like, bruh, I know what I need. You can't, that shit is $60. You're not about to charge me for a whole engine. People do try to get over on you. So it's kind of up to you to be more knowledgeable. And especially, I feel like in the workplace, you know, we're already looked at as less than. So it's like we have to work even harder to prove ourselves, to get the money that we want or to get the positions that we want. Because, you know, a lot of times they're going to give that job to a white person that's, you know, the manager's friend just because, or just somebody that's white because they can, you know. So I feel like, you know, we have to work 10 times harder because we are Black. And not only that, because we are women.
I agree with Korinne, my soul sister, with everything she's saying. Because me, naturally, I'm an alpha woman. Like, and I had to learn to kind of like calm myself down because I don't want to get no example, but I'm nasty. Yeah, I can be very nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Are you talking about like in a bad way, not like in a good way?
not in a bed. I mean, I be nasty in the bed too, but we ain't talking about the bed right now.
Oh, okay. I just want to clarify, you know, for that.
We ain't talking about the bed right now. But like, I had to calm myself down because I'm a person that I would cuss somebody out real nasty. Because you're not gonna walk all over me. I am my mother's daughter. You know, both my parents are in the military, so I was just brought up into like a strict background. So that is how my sister, my mom, and I grew up. Like, it is what it is. However, I think that sometimes you do have to learn how to balance. You can't be so strong all the time. You gotta let the man kind of like feel like something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you don't want to always make him feel like a little bitch. So sometimes you gotta tone it down
You
a little
don't
bit.
always want to make him feel like.
So she like, sometimes you gotta make him feel like
make him
one,
feel like a bitch.
just so he knows who's running things.
Hey. Yikes.
I mean, man.
Hey.
Get what
Okay,
I'm
so
saying.
No.
so that
You
is a
did.
perfect point. That is a good segue. So, do you think that an alpha female can successfully date or marry an alpha male?
They can, but you have to. It's a give and take situation. Even with the alpha man, he's gonna have to be able to give and take. Like you got to be able to figure stuff out.
At what point, or can you give us an example of a situation that kind of was your aha moment? Like the light bulb switched on when you said, you know what, I can still be alpha, but I have to find the balance in order to be successful in this relationship.
Like, I've just never truly allowed myself to let a man lead because I always just felt like, Dick, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like in the past I stepped on their egos because y'all got big egos.
And they're fragile.
Fragile. That's what I was gonna say.
So I've stepped on. I don't step on many.
Handle with care.
Right.
Well, you know what?
Look, it's coming out. The alpha coming out. You know what?
And
It's been on my mind.
I ain't gonna pull it back. Let's see.
I'm telling you.
Right.
So how do you decide? Because this is a great conversation. How do you decide when to allow yourself to be vulnerable enough in order to allow the man to lead? Like what allows you to get to that point?
Nothing, because let me tell you something. I don't. No, hear me. For real. Hear me out.
alpha male can't.
That's what I
marry
thought she
an alpha
said.
woman? You just said that. You just said an alpha man can marry an alpha woman, but you don't agree with that?
Y'all didn't even let me get to the point. So I'm gonna lead you to believe that you are up here. But as soon as you got done fail, don't worry about it, baby, because I got boom, 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 boom. Because that's how I do. I'm a planner.
You know
I'm
what?
not gonna be out here.
That. I can respect that. And the reason I'm saying I respect that is because it's with that type of idea, it allows the man to lead. As I don't know your personal situation, but let's say y'all live together, you're in a relationship, it allows him to be the head of the house. But it also allows for the woman to say, when you fall, I'ma catch you. Or when you slip, I'm right there in order to fix the situation, or not even fix it, but to support. So TJ, let me ask you, what do you think that you can successfully date an alpha-minded female?
Yeah, I think I could. Generally, she'd have to keep that alpha outside the house, but I think I could generally date an alpha woman. It doesn't have to always be like, because she's an alpha woman, she has to feel like she can be alpha to me. And I'm not necessarily saying that she couldn't, but I feel like it's ways for a woman to be alpha in a relationship without with a man's ego. Once you fuck with a man's ego and make him feel small, lost him. Mm-hmm. He may stay with you for another 10, 20, 30, 40 years. He may stay with you, but you lost him when you made him feel small. Mm-hmm. Or you fuck with his ego.
I'm going to agree with that 100%. I believe that a man's ego is the equivalent to a woman's emotions. Just like men have to handle women and their emotions in a delicate way, I feel like that's how women have to handle a man's ego. Women have a power that men don't have. From the beginning of time, women have the power to inspire, uplift, seduce, and tear down. Mm-hmm. That's in the Bible. From it goes all the way back to Eve and the apple. Adam knew everything that he was supposed to do. He knew the law. He wasn't tempted by anything. He was only tempted by what? A woman. and it is because women have a power, at least for straight men, that let me identify what I identify with. At least for straight men, women have a power that is undeniable in many cases. And so y'all have the power to uplift us, to make us think that we can be the president. Hence, Michelle Obama. But y'all have the power to tear us down and make us go crazy like
Samson.
Uh-huh. And somebody else, but we're gonna leave him alone. We said his name earlier. But
what are you talking about?
So I'm just saying that is the type of power that women have. And so when it comes to our egos, I don't think it's necessarily like, oh, I have to be alpha. I'm banging on my chest. No, it's allowing me to walk in my purpose, in my position. For me, because I'm a spiritual person, I believe the man is the head of the household. But with the head can't move without the neck. And I feel like the woman is the neck, is the support. So in order for me to even move this way, I have to have my support. The real key to a leader and an alpha is to be able to know when to lead and when to follow.
I feel like for me, I have to see consistency. Mm-hmm. I have to see that you're making great decisions. I have to see that you're reliable, you're trustworthy. And then, because I'm real old school, I do believe that the man is the head and I'm just there to help. So I feel like you also have to be equally yoked. A lot of people get in relationships, and even though you may be an alpha male, you may get with a girl just because she's cute or she has a fat ass and she don't know it. So now, you know, it's something that you don't know. You can't even go to your woman. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like, just in, you know, my current situation, I feel like he has allowed me to be submissive because of the great decisions that he makes. So I can sit back and say, you know what? I know he's gonna make a good decision. I don't always have to jump in and put my 2 cents in. I don't always have to do that. Now, normally in relationships, I gotta make all the decisions. I have to make all the financial decisions. I gotta, you know, I have to be basically the man. You know what I mean? And I don't really like that. So that's why I said, you know, I'm gonna be single until I find that person that allows me to be, you know, the softer me, that allows me to be a little bit more transparent, a little bit more loving. And that's only because, you know, you're making good decisions. You're allowing me to trust you. You're allowing me, you know, you're caring for me correctly. So I see that, you know, I can open up to you. You know what I mean?
I mean, just to piggyback on Korinne, just like me personally, you don't gotta agree with me. I think in a relationship, people are like, oh, 50-50. No, I think it has to be 100, because I feel like, especially for alpha women, like we built such a platform for ourselves where some women, they like to take care of men. Me personally, I don't. Like, that just ain't me. Like, I do feel like as a man you should lead, but I think in a relationship it should kind of go in like, I'm 100, I'm whole, and he's whole, period. And we're gonna make it work together. Like, I don't want to have to like take care of somebody. I don't.
I feel you on that. I do find it interesting though. Like, I think about the Stedmans, like the Oprah and the Stedmans, and I think about like Mona Scott Young. Her husband stays at home with their kids while she works. I'm always like not interested, but I'm
Intriguing.
yeah, intrigued. Like, I'm intrigued by just the idea of like how does that type of relationship work. I'm gonna switch gears on the conversation, and I'm going to touch on something that is definitely a touchy subject. So brace yourselves for all of you at home. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribing, because this is a real conversation right here. I want to talk about briefly the stereotype of the angry Black woman, and I want us to have an honest conversation of, do you think there is some legitimate ideas or ideology in the statement in general? Do you think there's some truth to it? And also the question is, do you think that like society has built that stereotype just because it's a Black woman, and maybe that applies to people outside of our race as well? So it's a double fold type question. What were you gonna say, TJ?
I just wanted to go first on that. I want to jump in on that. I think that it is society created stereotype, because Black women deal with so much and they take so much. They take the burdens of their men, they take the burdens of their children. They raise 5, 10, 12 kids by themselves sometimes. They have to raise one son.
Well, Lord have mercy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm being extreme with the 12. Like, even some of them.
I would have quit after the second one. You only got the 12.
I mean, back in the day.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Having 10 to 12 kids, and the man was gone 90% of the time. You know what I'm saying? But no, seriously, like, they have to raise kids on their own. They have to do things by themselves, and then they get treated like trash in certain instances, and then they have to deal with all of this stuff. And then it's like, when they snap back, or they start to say something to somebody about it, then the cameras come out. So it's not like it's not like they recorded the whole situation. They didn't record. Nobody recorded when you was poking, when you was sitting there doing this to a black woman 300 times, but they started recording when she punched your ass in the mouth. You know, and now she's the angry black woman because she reacted to something that she's been dealing with for the longest. And sometimes it may just take one thing for them to react to something.
I mean, like they say, the most disrespected species out here are black women. I think like he just said, like we just hold so much in and we do so much because unfortunately in our you know, in our community, there are a lot of black females that are just single. They have these children. Unfortunately, the boyfriends, husbands, whatever left them. So they deal with a lot. They deal with a lot. So when I snap, it's not because I'm snapped because what you said. It's just because I don't hit a breaking point. I don't like that. I don't like to be stereotyped as an angry black female. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get in that ass though. You know what I mean? But accountability. What did you do to me? What did you do to me? I'm about to just sit here and take it. No.
Do you think that it is in any way, in any percentage, the responsibility of the quote unquote black woman to help deter or eliminate that type of stereotype?
Let me start by saying this. I feel like a lot of times, you know, we're looked at angry because we're treated less than, right? Mm-hmm. So if I'm in a store and I ask you for help and you ignore me as if you didn't hear me, but a white lady comes behind me and she asks the same question and it's, oh, ma'am, let me take you to aisle 24. Now I'm like, okay, I know you just heard me. So now I have to decide, do I want to cuss this out or do I want to let it slide? Now, if you're disrespectful, now I can take when you ignore me. But now if you're being disrespectful, I'm following you home.
The stereotype of our black women, of course, like any type of conversation, I feel like stereotypes exist in every culture. It's not limited to black women. It goes beyond black women to black men. It goes to Jewish men, Jewish women. It goes to white women, white men. It goes everywhere. And I feel like stereotypes do exist. Doesn't mean everyone falls into that category. Doesn't mean it's everyone. I feel like there are some people that fall into that category, just like with any other race, with any other background. I don't personally feel like it's our responsibility to necessarily combat it, but surely I don't want to perpetuate it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I definitely agree with what you guys are saying. So very quickly, because time is running out, I want to touch on the idea of, I was listening to a conversation with Lisa Ray, and they were talking about black women, but Kim Kardashian and the Kardashians came up. And she said that black women were not appreciated for their body types until the Kardashians made it popular. So what do you guys think of that perspective?
I think with anything in our culture, you know, they take it, whenever we do something, they take it and now it's great. You know what I mean? For instance, hair color, right? When a black woman wears her hair orange and green and purple, it's ghetto. But when a white woman does it, oh, it's artistic. She's being creative. You know what I mean? Or if you see a woman with big lips, oh, she just got big lips. Now, if you see, you know, a white woman with it, oh, she looks exotic. Ain't nothing exotic about you. We've been having big lips. You feel me? So I feel like anything in our culture, whenever they see something that they like, they take it. And whenever they do it, it becomes this great, wonderful thing. When in actuality, it's, you know, they're just stealing. It's like they've been stealing things from us from the beginning of time, stealing inventions, stealing our bodies, stealing everything from us. That's what they do. They steal, and then they make it their own. You know what I mean? That's nothing new, but it's like we allow them to do it too, because we don't ever say that. Like, oh yeah, she look good with those micros. You don't look good with micros. You don't. Stop doing that.
You really don't.
You know what I mean? And you
Pulling
don't
ants
look
out.
good with those fake hips and fake butt. You look like an ant. Stop doing that.
It don't work for your legs, sis.
It don't. Just looking like an ant.
What you think, Wendy?
I don't think nothing. I mean,
You're on
honestly,
it.
I'm gonna tell you like this, because I've lived in different countries. Like, Black people are, in a sense, idolized, and whether they just making it acceptable to have big booties. You guys, they always fantasized about us. They always fantasized about Black women. Always. Even go back to slavery. If you find us so repulsive, we would never rape them. You feel what I'm saying? So we've always just been idolized. Period. I just think, okay, now because white people or whomever go out there and do it, they just make it okay. But you guys been idolizing us. That's how I feel about it.
Well, I feel like we do lead in a lot of different avenues and arenas, whether it be Black women in their shapes, whether it be our music. And I say, you know what? Welcome one, welcome all. That's what I believe. Because the reason I say that is because we're innovators. It's what we do. So when you make it cool, when you make it dope, that makes people want to be a part. Come be a part. And we're going to continue to be great. That's how I look at it.
That's part of the Black girl magic.
That I agree. That's just how I feel about it. But let's go to the fishbowl. Fishbowl.
Ooh, this about to be good.
So, Miss Wendy, we're going to let you go first since you're new into the kingdom. It's 1 through 12. Since you're not here to pick your own, you'll go ahead and pick a number, and then I will pull the number and read it off to you, and then you'll answer the question. 5. I thought I replaced that. I don't know why it's doing that. If you could plan a romantic trip anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Maldives.
Maldives?
Maldives.
Where's that at? I'm slow. Help me.
The Maldives. Am I saying it wrong?
That's right.
Am I saying it right?
I've never heard of it.
So you see those pictures where it's the water and the huts.
Oh yeah.
The Maldives.
Oh, that you fancy, because I never even heard of it. I've only seen it. So, and I've been to quite a few countries, so I'm not mad at you.
Like, let me take a little picture of looking at Maldives.
Yeah, show us. I'm intrigued. What part of the world is it in? Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah, that's where I want to go and get pregnant.
You said what?
And get pregnant.
All right now. She got a quarantine bay over there.
She pregnant.
Oh no, she live with her quarantine bay. Her both live together, honey.
Come on, in-house quarantine bay. What number, Korinne?
I'm gonna go with number 2.
There you go. All right. What is your perfect idea of a romantic evening?
Listen.
Even though she's already been fed grapes from the moon, and she went outer space for her excursion to Quarantine Bay. They circled the planets of Pluto and Neptune, came back, went horseback riding, and swim with the dolphins. But go ahead.
Was you with you saw us horseback riding? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I think any time that I'm with Quarantine Babe, it's amazing. We could be sitting here watching movies. You feel me? No, this is real. Stop making fun with me. I mean, this is real. I actually enjoy just being in his presence. We don't always to do fancy. And we could just be sitting here chilling. We could just be laughing and talking. We could be rapping together. We could be doing anything. It's always a great time when I'm with him. However, we both do like to travel. So, you know, we travel together. And anytime that we travel together and we get that top floor in the penthouse and we open the window and we have sex in that window in every hotel, okay?
Got it.
And that's a perfect night for me. You feel me?
Got you. What number you got, TJ?
Hold on, let me tell y'all. Getting
Which
head
number you got?
and looking over the city. Getting some good ding 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 ding. Why are you looking at the city? Woo! Yes, Lord. Hallelujah.
We moved on, Korinne.
We digress. We digress, Korinne. We
Digress. Which number, TJ?
I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go a higher number today. 9.
Oh, you fancy.
Fancy.
I hope I didn't look up.
Let's see. What is your favorite? Let's try that again. What is your favorite romantic or sex scene in the movie?
Jason's lyrics.
Oh, is that with Jada?
Yeah, with Jada in the garden. I mean,
don't get entangled.
Of course.
Don't get entangled. All right, Miss Wendy, I'm gonna let you, since you're new to the kingdom, I'm gonna let you pick my number.
So let's just go ahead and do 10.
Got it. All right. Who is the person you most admire and why?
No,
Why you never want to? She always want to change my numbers.
No,
Go
go ahead.
Right, she always want to change. The last 3 episodes, she changed my numbers.
Go ahead.
All right, and I didn't even pick it. So, since we're in the neighborhood of Black Girl Magic, I would have to say my mother.
Nigga, you would have said that if it was any time. Stop.
You don't know my life.
You don't know the story, my struggles.
Yeah, so it's my mother. I've already kind of touched on that earlier. One thing that I really do appreciate about her is I know that she's been through a lot, like a whole lot. And for her to be as nice, just like in general, just to be a nice person and to be as loving and as welcoming as she is, honestly, I'm not that person. I think I get more of my personality from my dad, but that's neither here nor there. But the fact that she is all of those things in spite of everything that she's been through, like, I admire that. I really do. Like, and I feel like a lot of women, and to be more specific, a lot of Black women, the fact that y'all are emotionally more stronger than men, in my opinion. Like, when you hurt a man, you cut us, it takes almost a lifetime for us to recover. You know what I'm saying? But for a lot of women and a lot of Black women, I feel like y'all are, and maybe it's survival that causes you to be like that, but y'all are so strong and y'all can bounce back and you're so resilient. And it really opens you up to possibilities that as men, we may not open ourselves up to. So I appreciate her for being that. And shout out to Wendy's dog, because the dog was lit. You ain't gave him some of that good juice over there that you were drinking, because the dog is lit. But on that note, I want to say thank you to Wendy for joining us on today. We want to salute all of the women on today And specifically, we want to shout out to all the Black women out there who are making moves, to the doctors, the lawyers, the preachers, the teachers, the educators, all of you, from the women at Walmart that check a bag. We want to salute everybody for
Death row.
for just simply being the queens that you are. We salute you, we acknowledge you, and we see you. So make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And on that note, we are out.
Gang, gang.
It's okay. I'm gonna love you anyway. When the sun turns blue, when the sky turns gray, my love is gonna be here to stay. I've been looking for someone that's gonna hold a king down. I've been looking for someone that's gonna hold a king crown. I've been looking for somebody that would make me feel complete. I've been looking all my life, I wonder